The Current State of ARIA Modal by Fahad Lambate. 10 Years of Alibytes 2022.
Hey everyone, welcome to Alibytes 2022. So I'll be presenting the topic on current state of ARIA model. But before we move on with the presentation, let me introduce myself quickly. So I'm Fahad Lambate and I'm working at an organization which resides in India, Mumbai, named Barrier Break. I have been associated with Barrier Break now since almost 6 years. I started here as a document tester slash remediator, where I was largely working on PPT, and now I'm currently designated as a senior accessibility testing quality lead. So I'm really passionate about accessibility, and hence I find it very interesting, intriguing, because the important thing when it comes to accessibility is I'm also contributing towards the society, which I like the most. So a short brief about Barrier Break. So Barrier Break is the leader in offshore digital accessibility testing and consulting based in India. It was founded in 2004 with strong belief that technology can empower people with disabilities and elderly to live independently. So recently we have also been onboarded as one of the Valuable 500, which is the world's biggest CEO collective. I would say Barrier Break truly believes in inclusion. We follow the people's first approach, wherein people with disabilities is a part of the process and solutions that we provide. We have an experienced team who is passionate about accessibility, and approximately 60% of our employees have disability. So many of us know that handling dialogue UX currently is not as painful as it was used to be a couple of years ago. So in this presentation, we will explore the what and why of the ARIA model along with its compatibility and ARIA and accessibility tree stats, which are based on the test cases on different sets of browsers and screen readers. So let's dive into it. Firstly, ARIA model is a property that was introduced in ARIA 1.1, which was released approximately 4 years ago. This property is generally used when a dialog UX is implemented on the website. It accompanies the role of dialog. The values that we can set for this property is true and false. Basically, true is for modal dialog, wherein the background is inert, and false is for non-modal dialog, where the background content is reachable. Generally, when you implement a dialog, in order to make the background content inner in case of modal and to make it available in case of non-modal, a combination of ARIA hidden and tab index of -1 is used. But with the introduction of ARIA modal property, we can say bye-bye to the ARIA hidden and tab index attribute, as ARIA modal is supposed to do the trick. The ARIA modal property helps to indicate screen reader that the background content of the dialog is inert, although there is no special announcement regarding the same. Remember, you will still require a JS in order to trap the focus within the dialog boundaries, but it does make developer's job a bit easier. Let's look at some of the test cases for the sake of this presentation. As you can see, the combinations that have been used are of Firefox, Chrome, Safari against different set of screen readers such as NVDA, which is on the latest version, ChromeVox, VoiceOver, and JAWS 2022. Here the check marks indicates if it's compatible, the cross mark indicates if it's not compatible, whereas the hyphen indicates the combination was not favorable. From this data, we can see across different combinations in desktop, the ARIA modal works. That means when it comes to screen reader, for modal it hides the background content, whereas in case of non-modal, it won't hide the background. So this was about desktop. Now let's dive into the mobile. Here we got an interesting data. As we tried the test cases wherein we used browser like Firefox, Chrome, Safari against Android TalkBack and iOS VoiceOver, whichever the cases were applicable. So here, as you can see, in case of modal dialog, the ARIA modal is not compatible. That means the background content is still reachable with the screen reader. So in case of Android TalkBack, you can still access the background content in case of modal dialogs. Similarly, in case of iOS VoiceOver, you can still access the background content. So how to handle this? So our old friend, which is ARIA hidden, which we spoke earlier, will do the trick. So we need to set the ARIA hidden on the container of the background content, which will ensure to hide the content for the screen reader. So interestingly, again, as you can see, for the non-modal dialog, if we set ARIA modal value as false, it works fine. Isn't this data interesting, but not robust as we thought? So now let's have a look at the accessibility tree stats. So what is accessibility tree stats? It's basically how the browser interprets the attribute, properties, roles for any given component. Here, as we can see, the property of ARIA modal is exposed in both implementation, modal as well as non-modal dialog across browsers like Firefox, Chrome, and Safari. So in Chrome and in Firefox, Chrome, Safari, this information is interpreted, and from the screenshots as well, we can see in Firefox, when we define ARIA modal, it is shown as true with a value of true. The state is identified as a modal. Whereas in Chrome, under the attributes, it is defined as ARIA modal. It is with a value of true. Similarly, in computed properties, it says modal with a value of true. In Safaris, it shows under the attribute as a ARIA modal with value of true. What about non-modal? So we can see the difference. In Firefox, there is no modal state that is identified. In Chrome, under the ARIA attributes, it shows ARIA modal as false, and under the computed properties, it is showing modal with value of false. In case of Safari, we can also see that under the attributes, it is showing ARIA modal with a value of false. So it's time to conclude, guys. Based on the test cases we have gone through, we can say ARIA modal property in case of dialog for desktop it's 100% compatible, whereas for mobile that is not the case. It is not completely compatible right now, but when it comes to non-modal dialogs for desktop as well as mobile, it's compatible. And interestingly, all the browser exposes this property within the accessibility tree. So you might be wondering, guys, what about in the scenario of a dialogue which is appearing within a dialogue? So don't worry, guys, it's the same result. There is no difference at all from what we have seen in the compatibility and the ALI trees stats. I can say there's definitely an improvement, because on desktop it has got 100% compatible, but even after approximate 4 years of its release, it is still not truly robust. As we saw, it does not work in case of mobiles that well quite yet. So as I said earlier, in order to make it robust across different platforms, inclusion of ARIA hidden attribute will help. That's it, guys, for this presentation. Hope you all got some information and takeaways through this presentation, and you all can reach out to me on LinkedIn, Twitter, or my official ID of Barrier Break. We'll be happy to connect with you all. Bye bye.
Celebrating 10 years. Alibytes 2022.